Children who end up in the child welfare system often go to non-Indigenous caregivers. As a result, many grow up not knowing their culture, language, or clan. It ends up having a very similar effect to what was being done through residential schools and the 60s scoop. Even worse, it breaks up families for years. Tamara Malcolm is a mother from Manitoba who has been fighting to get her 3 sons out of the system since 2007. MP Charlie Angus brought this up during question period after the census was released.
Documents show that federal programs are so underfunded that Indigenous parents actually have to give their children away to provincial foster care in order to get help. There's something fundamentally wrong.
And the federal government has been aware of this issue for quite some time. Indigenous affairs and individual agencies are tasked by INAC to deliver the services across the country. The government has used the same formula since 1988 to fund services for reserves. It operates on, but there's a catch. These agencies that are meant to provide child services to Indigenous children are barely able to operate because the funding is so low, let alone provide prevention services. Meanwhile, if children are placed in foster care, costs to keep them there are reimbursed by INAC. Basically, INAC is giving these agencies an incentive to choose foster care as the solution, when the problem is really a lack of funding. The human rights complaint against the government, which the federal government spent $707,000 in legal fees fighting.
The most shocking thing about this whole case has been that we had to file it at all. Why did we have to take the Canadian government to court to get them to treat little kids fairly? Like, these are little kids. Shouldn't any moral government do that as a matter of course? And
against Indigenous children and ordered the government to fix the problem immediately. 3 non-compliance orders later, it remains unsolved. The 2016 budget came and went and still fell short of what the tribunal required. And this year, the 2017 budget made no mention of Indigenous child welfare. And this is not even the first time this human rights case has been documented. Haven't Indigenous children been patient enough?